What's going on, Freedom and Wealth Seekers? Wanted to do a quick case study video with one of my clients. Chris, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Chris, a couple of years ago, uh, you joined the Freedom and Wealth Seekers program, and I was going over local government foreclosures. For folks that don't know what local government foreclosures are, they are tax sale certificates or tax deeds. Every state across the United States, every city, every county, all over the country sells tax deeds and tax sale certificates, depending on what state you are located in. You could be in a tax deed state, you could be in a tax sale certificate state. So Chris actually took some massive action. I'm going to share my screen and you all should be looking at a row of houses. This is in West Baltimore. Now, this screen share, this map view, street view, I'm sorry, is from 2021. This block has changed drastically since then, and I'll show y'all in a minute what it looks like. But Chris, this is one of your properties you picked up through local government foreclosure. How much did you invest in your initial investment for this property?
So I want to say the property was about 1,700, maybe $60.
Okay. And can you explain to the folks watching this, like how you came across this property? Did you have to go down to the courthouse, do research? Uh, did I just send you an email? Like, because a lot of people say, if it's that easy, why isn't everybody doing it? And I tell folks everybody doesn't have access to a mentor or access to some type of program. How did you actually find out about this property?
Well, it was during our mentorship process that we talked about tax sales. At which point, during that one-on-one mentorship, we went online. You actually showed me how to use at that point what Baltimore City was using as a platform to find properties. So after you showed me how to use it, I went through, I found a property that was available. At that time, you could call,
Uh-huh.
and, and at that point, you could call in up to three a month, I believe.
Yes.
And, so I called, they said it was available. They told me I had a few days to come down and buy the certificate and pay for the certificate. So I went down to, um, now it's City Hall, but they've switched the buildings a couple times. But
Hmm.
I went in, I talked to the person I talked to over the phone. I brought my probably a check, like a certified check from the bank for $1,760.
Yes.
And the certificate was mine at that point. So that was pretty much the process.
Excellent. Excellent. Chris, today is crazy, man. I just talked to a client about their certificate, and I said, once you own that certificate, people, a lot of people don't understand. It's a piece of paper, but it's actually it's actually I call it a local government instrument of value, like a almost like a bond, but not a bond that you can sell. You can assign it. So if you pay 1,700, if you build up enough value for that certificate, you could sell that certificate for 20 grand if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And people, it may be going over people's head. Like, you go to your local municipality, your local city hall, wherever you pay your bills, and you buy one of these tax sale certificates for $1,700. I mean, my first certificate was $850. If you buy one of these and you turn around, add value, and we're going to show you how to add value right now in the next 5 minutes, and then assign it the next day or the next week or next month for 20,000, it is possible that can happen, but you got to take some steps. Now, when Chris has several different options. He could assign the tax sale certificate. He could also go through the entire process, become the owner of this property we're looking at. So this boarded up property, this is the one that was $1,700. He has options. Now, this is what you have to understand. Number one, this is not a get rich quick scheme. You do not get an immediate return on your investment, even if you're purchasing a tax sale certificate. Chris, how long did it take for the city to send you a certificate, or how long did it take? Now, you went through one of those special programs that I referred you to. I don't recall the wait time, but usually when you purchase a tax sale certificate, you won't receive it for about 4 to 8 months, depending on the department you purchase the certificate with. How long did you have to wait, Chris?
Actually, I don't think I had to wait that long. I think they gave me up to 30 days to come pick up the
Okay,
certificate once they notified me to let me know it was available.
got it. Now, how long did that entire process take? As far as you getting access to the list, talking with the city, how long, give or
I
take?
would I would say it was probably at least a month because
Mhm.
you call and most people have other things to do. So you might take some time, call for three properties,
Yep,
and then there's a waiting process for somebody to get back to you to let you know if they're available.
got it.
Now the process has changed to the point where I believe they email you or they might even text you and say, "Hey, your property's available." So it's a little different. Um, but there's so many properties in the pipeline. I guess when they get to you, when they get to you.
Yep, yep. Amazing, Chris. This is a great call so far. So across the street, and one of the steps. So you're actually, if you're watching this video, you're getting some coaching here. One of the steps is the due diligence process. And within the due diligence process that we have, there's a couple of steps. The step that we're going to go through is really figuring out the value of the property. So Chris actually did some research, and I'm going to pull up the property directly across the street from his. This is a property that sold for 200,000. So the value's gone up since then in this neighborhood. It sold for 200,000 in 2023. Okay, and this is the inside of the property. It's just a two-bedroom, two-bath, 1,100 square foot house. And the current owner is actually renting this property out. Clean renovation. So this is a comp. So Chris, what in the foreseeable future do you have planned for your property?
So my first instinct was to um, basically acquire financing to renovate,
Hmm.
and then you pretty much do a cash out refinance once you're finished renovating. But I think this is a property where you might need about $100,000 to get it up to speed, maybe a little less.
Hmm.
Um, After that, there's the debt service program where debt service loan where you use the potential rent in the area or if you find a renter, you can use the rent that you're actually getting and finance the property based off of that income. So that was kind of my plan. And then but the other option was like you said, maybe market it at 17, 20, $23,000 and kind of make it a quick flip and then kind of wash your hands and move on to the next one. Because then you could find 10 more at $2,000.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. If you're
That
that lucky.
amazing. I actually just went to Pennsylvania and did this. It's a quicker turnaround. I bought four properties for $500 a piece. One was like $550, and these were actually mobile homes. So it's a little different than getting the deed, but you do gain some ownership. And I I sold one to the mobile home park for $2,000, and the other three I'm going to use a different strategy. I'm going to lease one at some point, and I think I'm going to list one because it was just in immaculate shape. Once I get all the paperwork from the county, I will. I'm going to try to list it for like 80,000 and see what happens. But local government foreclosures, ladies and gentlemen, is very powerful. The reason why I decided to start teaching this method is because I heard a billionaire give a lecture, and he was saying that if he was asked a question during the lecture, if he lost everything and he only had $5,000, what would he do? And he said he would go to a city similar to Baltimore. He didn't say Baltimore, and he would look for vacant, dilapidated houses like Chris found here, and he would start buying the back taxes. Now, some people look at this, Chris, and they say, well, and these are for the skeptics and things of that nature. They say, well, oh, you're taking somebody's house. And I just want you, Chris, to let them know, and this is one of the methods that I pride myself on teaching, is that we go after properties where there's no one coming back for them. And he'll explain that strategy. So y'all getting a lot of gems here. What uh what was going on with the owner of this property?
So this property actually experienced a fire.
Uh-huh.
So the other process that there's a process where after you get the tax certificate, you have to file with a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and the lawyer goes through the process of trying to track down anybody that might own this property.
Mm-hmm.
But since it went through a fire, I'm not sure if the people want it back. And
Yeah,
so there was actually nobody to step up and ask for this property back.
right.
So do you want to know the time frame that we talked about?
Uh yeah, let's keep it real. Like, do you
So I mean, I originally acquired this in November of 2022,
Mhm.
and if finally the certificate is going to get passed over to me in February, it was February of 25, so a little over two years.
Mhm. So the deed, you're gonna get the deed in 2025.
Well, I mean, that's when this it's like everything was settled with the lawyer, and I know I
Gotcha.
could acquire the deed. That's when I got the notification in February of 25.
Got it. So folks, when you get the deed to these tax sale properties, these local government foreclosures, Chris is gonna own this property free and clear, 100%. No mortgage, no more back taxes owed when he gets the deed. Now there's some subsequent uh uh expenses that he'll pay before the the deed is in his name. But once he pays that, and what we're talking about is environmental citations that have added up over the last 3 years, property taxes on this particular property, the property taxes were less than $200 a year. Um, and that's that, and any other legal costs. How much did your attorney cost up front? Do you recall?
About $2,200.
2,200. Now, this is a quick history lesson. when I started in the business in 2002, uh, going after these types of properties, there was a cap that was put in place. Okay, I can't recall if it was in place when I purchased my first local government foreclosure. I think I paid like 4,200 in legal fees, but there was a cap that Baltimore City attorneys, and I think this was statewide ruling that they had to cap. It was a cap on how much legal fees were put on these tax sale foreclosures. And the reason why there were some attorneys that were doing some unscrupulous things and they were hiking up legal fees in favor of the investor, okay, which is not ethical. So that changed. It's everything's pretty much an even playing field right now. And our strategy, like I said, we go after properties where the folks are most likely not coming back. This property's been vacant for a long, long time. And what our clients are building wealth one local government foreclosure at a time. Chris, would you recommend my program to anybody watching this? Could you share like your experience and recommendations?
I would absolutely recommend your program. Um, my experience, I mean, during those one-on-one sessions, I was allowed to ask questions. I was also given assignments and homework that that really broadened, my way of thinking. And there's more than local government foreclosures discussed on the one-on-one mentors. That's just one kind of vehicle, one kind of way to get there. So there's other strategies that get discussed. Um, and sometimes yeah, I mean, every time I got on, I learned something, and that was really, what I really wanted to gain, just more knowledge, more information, and, something I can move forward with. So I would absolutely recommend. I thought it was, one of my more valuable investments, the mentorship program.
Excellent. Excellent. So, folks, first, let's give a round of applause for Chris. He taught tonight, and there's going to be a link somewhere around this video in the email, wherever you're watching this. You can apply for this program. This is a special program. I'm only going to work with about 10 students each quarter, just the way, and this specifically for Maryland tax sale properties. And we have a strong focus in Baltimore right now. There are about 2 to 3 programs where we can pick up local government foreclosures in Baltimore City, pennies on the dollar. Um, his results are not guaranteed. There are some pros and cons to investing in local government foreclosures. Any investment is a risk. So understand that going in. Chris, over the last 2.5 years, he could not put any insurance on this vacant building. So this building could have been knocked down. This building could have caught fire again. Stuff like that happens. But does it happen often? In my experience, not often. But it can happen. So we just want to be fully transparent on that. But I tell you what, they're not making any more land. So even if this property was was tore down, there's still value in the land. The land is worth more than $1,700. Wouldn't you agree, Chris?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So we're gonna end here. Folks, don't forget, hit the link. You can apply. We'll have a conversation and get the ball rolling. Hold up, Chris. Did I hit the record button? Oh,
It
stop.
says